We are live. We are talking touchdowns. This is the Nuke the House YouTube channel, and I'm here as I am joined every Friday with Tyler and JC Zargo. Tyler, I had a chance to talk to you just a little bit earlier when we found all those NBA winners. Oh, by the way, I put that Magic +5 on the sheet. Deal with it. And JC, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great, spread. I had a great Thanksgiving. Hope everyone else did. Excited to watch some Dolphins football today, and excited for the weekend ahead.
All right. Tyler, those games sucked yesterday.
Yeah. Fading the best team in the NBA, what could go wrong here? So but yeah, yesterday's games weren't the best. Lions, they
sucked.
Cowboys did their thing.
Yeah, that was kind of fun when it was 14-10. I'm like, okay, cool. We got ourselves a game. Good job, Howell. Right? And then nothing for the whole rest of the game.
Yeah, Cowboys defense is a brick wall. Dak's in the MVP conversation now. And then the night game was what everyone thought it was going to be. San Fran rolled out on the field. Geno was banged up. Their offense stunk. I don't think they got a yard till the second quarter. And at that point, the game was over.
That 49ers defense is so good. That's the best team in the NFL, Tyler. You got to agree with me now, finally, right? It's not the Eagles. It's the Niners.
No, I'm still saying it's the Eagles.
How?
Oh, they beat up on a brittled down Seattle team that couldn't even catch a punt and gave them all these
Dude, the stats, those stats were wild. Like halftime, Seattle had -3 passing yards. I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah, and we could sit here and nitpick them. I could say, oh, well, they didn't do much in the second half. They kind of let Seattle back into the game and then had to go score a late touchdown before sealing the deal. I still think it's Philly. You put them both on the field, I'm still taking Philly.
All right.
I don't know how.
We will disagree there, but we'll be able to talk about Philly. Go ahead.
San Francisco -6.5 in that.
Oh, that's too much. It would be 3.
No, I know it would be, but I'm saying I would go alt spread or whatever. I would take San Fran to win by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I just think right now that defense is so good. Jason Graham agrees with you, Tyler. He has the Eagles #1, the Niners #2, the Ravens #3, the Cowboys #4. Wow. Really? The Chiefs Jason, are out of your top 5? Chiefs are better than the Cowboys.
And the Ravens.
Yeah, I agree too. All right, let's dive in. JC, because your favorite team kicks off here in 56 minutes. All right, I got to tell you guys some interesting facts about this game.
Please do.
I didn't know this. So I always just assumed that the NFL didn't go against high school and college football because they're why would we kill our free farm system, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that it's actually an act of Congress passed in the 60s that the NFL cannot broadcast games past 3? Games can't start past 3:30 Eastern on Friday and all day Saturday during the regular season. This is actually a congressional act.
That's vaguely familiar. I think I've heard that before.
I didn't know that. I just assumed they did it for real. Now, Amazon paid $100 million for the rights just for this game, right?
Yeah.
You would think that's going to be a loss. Do you know what they're doing today? So the reason they overpaid, because it's an overpay, they're not going to get $100 million in revenue back on advertisement, right?
Well, it's the biggest shopping weekend of the year, so I'm sure they're making their money that way with some.
And that was the idea, that they wanted to keep people out of the stores. And when you're watching today, there's going to be targeted ads for you, right?
Of course.
So I'm going to get different ads than you guys because I'm
crazy.
old. So they're going to give me this Bose sent out 3 different ads. They're 25 and less, 25 to 50. So maybe I'll get the same ads as you. And then, for the elderly people, they have different ads. And then on the screen, you're supposed to be able to just use a QR code. So if you see something, you just get it.
Yeah,
and it's pretty crazy.
You're watching, if you have a Fire Stick, I think you can just click to buy it.
Yeah, click to buy it. So it's interesting what they're doing here, especially with the targeted ads. So If we're watching at the same time, we could be getting different ads.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And if you're over at your buddy's house and a bunch of ads come up for gay dating sites, watch out. All right, the Miami Dolphins are -9.5. They're in New York. They're taking on the Jets. The total is 40. JC, start with you. Your favorite team?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I have zero interest in playing the total here. These games between the Jets and Dolphins can go either way. I mean, they can turn to a shootout. I kind of more likely see a defensive battle here because that's the Jets' only strong suit. But on the other hand, Miami puts up 35. Then Jets only got to put up 5 to cover this. So I just think you're a fool if you're playing the total. I mean, it's obviously Miami's game to lose. There's no way they lose this game, especially with Boyle under center.
Oh, we're not doing this again. There's no way. We thought there was no way the
whatever.
Lions
You know what
could
I mean.
lose.
There's no you're not. No one's taking the Jets money line here. There's an argument certainly that can be made for taking the Jets at the spread. I don't think that's a solid play. Personally, I think the best way to attack this game, because of so many points for a divisional game, I'd rather take an alt spread like I got right now, Miami -2.5 and a Tyreek touchdown for +117. If you're forcing me to make a pick, I'll go ahead and lay the points. But I think with knowing how explosive Miami's offense is, I think there are just better ways to attack this game.
Tyler, I think the Jets have one of the best defenses in the game. If I'm betting this game, I'm taking the +9.5. Your thoughts?
I'm not betting the side or a total in this game. It's just a weird game. It's a Friday game.
Absolutely.
Miami's offense, it's built through the pass. The Jets defense have 2 really good corners that match up with the wide receivers. I know they're very fast wide receivers. They probably run right away from these corners and probably break a couple plays, but I'd rather just not mess around with it. This game just screams to me, I'm going to go bet that first drive parlay, Jets first drive punt, Dolphins first drive punt, +220. The defense will be fresh. I think they stopped the Dolphins. I am not worried about Tim Boyle and the Jets driving down the field the first drive. Give me that right there, +220. Bet will be done early in the game. Don't hate your look on the Tyreek touchdown and they win, because I think that's the way I'd want to get on it. And maybe even doing like alting the Dolphins down, maybe to right around a field goal, and then knocking the total up a little bit and going under and getting right around even money would be a way I'd go.
Yeah, I agree. If messing around with that as well, I think you're better off raising the number and going under than lowering the number and going over.
Yeah, and I don't hate betting just both defenses to score touchdowns in this game. I mean, the Jets defense is +850. Miami's defense is +460. Tim Boyle could easily throw a pick six. Tua could get strip sacked or pick six by this defense. You seen what happened in last night's game with Purdy, just a little tip ball. Seattle runs one back. I think every defense scored yesterday. Dallas got one, and then Green Bay also got one. So defenses have scored in every game to start this week. So at those prices, with these offenses on the field and these quarterbacks that can make mistakes, I'll take that chance on those prices.
Yeah, for sure. I was looking at interceptions as well because I was liking the defense to be strong here. I mean, -360 on Boyle, but you can catch even money on a Tua interception. I think that's a pretty solid play as well.
JC, watching Brock Purdy last night, I was so happy to have him ranked above Tua in my quarterback rankings. It's your move today as Tua gets a chance to embarrass me once again as I keep kind of having fun with that little bit right there. But Purdy, yeah, that's such a stupid joke. I'm
glad you stopped yourself.
It's been made like 1,000 times too,
yeah.
right? All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I should get you hit the thumbs up button for me not making that joke, guys. Hit that like button. I didn't make the terrible, obvious joke. Just like I quit singing the Beyonce Survivor song whenever we talk about Survivor. All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers are -1. They're in Cincinnati. They're taking on the Bengals. The total is 35.5. Jake Browning, I think, is going to be under center for the Bengals. Jake Browning is actually a Folsom High legend out here for me in Northern California. Set a bunch of records in high school. We were pretty excited about him. Has not lived up to his potential, but now he gets an opportunity with one of the best offenses in the NFL. The Steelers, Kenny Pickett, it's do or die time for him. I think they're definitely bringing in someone to compete with him no matter what. But what are your thoughts here, Tyler? Did the Steelers bounce back after look really ineffective against arguably the best defense in the league last week?
Yeah. Look, I probably stay away from this game. It's an ugly one. I mean, Why would I try and bet a Kenny Pickett, Jake Browning game? I'm not touching
because we're taking Tomlin against a guy making his first start.
I don't factor in the head coach when I'm looking at two shitty quarterbacks on the field. Yes, they could easily win the game, but Cincinnati's going to have all the weapons on the field. If he gets the ball to these guys and Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd and mix and make plays, they could easily beat us. I don't think we're all that good, and we can't score points against an offense that could easily put up points, even without Burrow. I'm just staying away from that ugly game.
All right, JC, what are your thoughts, man? I think there's value on the Steelers here, but I talk about Tomlin there. Tomlin was going against a guy in his second start last week, and they lost. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's a tough one, especially, with Canada out, kind of wondering if that'll help out the Steelers here. I think if you're going to be on a side, I definitely think Pittsburgh's the way to go. However, I love under 35.5. I just think it's a much smarter play. We do have two solid defenses here, and we got two crappy offenses. I just locked that bet in right now because that number is absolutely going to go down. So I'd go ahead and grab 35.5 while it's still available.
It's not even the lowest total on the board either. All right,
the
Steelers.
It was bound to happen. Like we have all these unders this year. Numbers were bound to drop, but it's still they're not. These teams are still finding ways to get under them.
I like the Steelers here, but I don't want to get involved. I'll tell you what, I think Browning has more talent than Pickett. I think he's got a better arm and he's more mobile. Pickett's probably a harder worker and a better decision maker.
Yeah. But it's going up against that Pittsburgh defense.
Yeah, I know. That's why I like the Steelers here. And I know Pickett looked bad last week, but the Browns have made everybody look bad. The Jacksonville Jaguars can't even talk. Jacksonville Jaguars are -1.5. They're in Houston taking on the Texans. The total is 47.5. Wow. That used to be a normal number a couple years ago, Tyler. That just seems like it's sky high right now. We both love the Texans here, but you tell the people why.
I think it's a good matchup for them. They've beaten the Jags a lot.
9 out of the last 10.
I lean towards it. Yeah, they've just dominated this team. CJ Stroud looks really good. Nico Collins has got a week longer to recover off that injury, so he'll be back. I think Dameon Pierce might come back in this game too. I think this is a spot where they beat the Jags, to be honest with you. But I think it's going to be a very public spot. And if that line at +1.5, I'm just smacking it right in the teaser and taking them up over 7.5. Because in a game that
it's 1.5 right now.
In a game that likely decides their division, this could be a very close scoring game, and Jacksonville could easily etch this one out in the end. So I'd rather not lose on a game-ending field goal or something in a close game. I'd rather have that +7.5 in my pocket in the teaser.
JC, are you going to join Tyler and I in taking the Houston Texans?
Oh, you're both on the Texans. Probably. I definitely think it's a smarter play here. You got to look at this and know there's a chance you're going to get smacked in the mouth because it's still hard to take such a young Texans team against Jaguar squad that we know what they're capable of, right? They haven't been playing to that level that we expected them to. They don't look like they did last year. But in a divisional game, it could happen. But, looking at the product in front of us, looking at what we've seen these past few weeks and seeing what Stroud's capable of, I think you just got to go ahead and grab the Texans here at home. Being at home, that's another great notch for them. And don't hate that over either.
All right. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are +2.5. They're taking on the Indianapolis Colts. The total is 44.5. Next game that we had a play on, Tyler, we took the points here with Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. Tell people why.
Yeah, I think they're the better team. They're going to be able to stop what the Colts like to do, and that's run the ball. We know they have one of the better run defenses. Vita Vea will be in the middle, clogging up the run, which forces Minshew to throw the ball a lot more. I think he makes a couple mistakes, throws a couple picks. Yeah, Tampa Bay's pass defense isn't the best, but I'm also not very scared of the likes of like a Josh Downs or Michael Pittman.
Who's actually on the injury report too, Downs is.
Yeah, that's the biggest one because Downs is the one.
He could play, but he's questionable right now.
He's banged up. Tampa Bay is going to have their way on the other side too. Like Shaq Leonard was released, which was a big part of the Colts defense. I really don't think the rest of their defense is all that good. they've just been like Kenny Moore's had a couple interceptions, but he's been gifted those interceptions by a couple of these quarterbacks. I don't think Baker gives them those gifts, and Mike Evans and these guys have been very good. Rashad White's come along too. I think Tampa Bay wins this game. They lose to the very good teams. They beat up on these bottom dwellers. They're still in the running for their division. They still have a reason to win games. I think they win this game right here.
Yep, we are in agreement there. We're on the Bucks. JC, what do you think of our breakdown?
I think it's very eloquent. I think you bring up good points, especially with, looking at the divisional rates. But I mean, these are the 25th and 26th worst defenses in the league. And these are two quarterbacks that are just so sporadic, so all over the place. You really never know what you're going to get out of them. I have zero interest in touching this game at all.
All right. JC doesn't want to spend that money that we're going to be having on Sunday, Tyler. That's fine. I heard you talk about two of the worst defenses here. My numbers had this to an under, but as you talk and I see the line has moved towards the over, do you agree that's the right side?
On the, what was that?
On the Buccaneers Colts.
I'd kind of lean under. No,
that's what my projections have.
I have nothing on the total.
Yeah, when you said that, 25th and 26th, the first thing that goes into my mind is over.
But
projections have this game at 41. For me, my projection. All right. The New England Patriots are on. Speaking of the lowest total on the board, here we have it. 34 here. And this is going to be a fade of the Giants coming off that big win over the Commanders, where they were able to, they intercepted I can't remember how many times, but it was pretty bad. The Patriots, of course, coming off the bye. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be. It just shows how much Mac Jones has lost that locker room. I don't want to get involved in this game, Tyler. I've heard a lot of sharp people on the Patriots here. Basically, the Giants win was fool's gold. And, Danny DeVito or Tommy DeVito got hit 20 times in that last game. Still the worst offensive line. You would think the Patriots would be able to do something with that. But this locker room might have completely given up with the lack of leadership in quarterback. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, it's Patriots or pass for me, but I probably just completely pass on this game.
JC, can you make an argument for the Giants?
Yeah, okay, but first off, for sure, you said I don't know which locker room you're talking about when you said they may have lost it due to leadership, because you could be talking about either team here.
Okay, so for the quarterback losing the room, it's New England. For the coach losing the room, could be New York. So great point there.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm really liking that 3.5 on the Giants. So it's funny that you posed me that question that way. Sure, Belichick off a bye. People were kind of overanalyze that. But what have we seen from New England, right? I mean, these are, they're two of the worst teams in the league, arguably the bottom two. It's going to be ugly. This is certainly another under. But, if we're looking at DeVito against Zappy, more than likely, Mac Jones has been so bad for so long. Zappy clearly isn't showing anything that impressive in practice. Otherwise, we would have seen him earlier in the season. So I don't think that helps out the Patriots at all. Again, hard to bet a game when there is so many unknowns. But I'd rather roll the dice on DeVito having another good game, and I'll take 3.5 points all day on that.
Tyler, once again, I've left the New York Giants off the sheet. This is 2 weeks in a row that I forgot to put them on our sheet and project them. And I'll tell you what, I'm absolutely fine with that. I agree with you, JC, though. If I was forced to play it, Tyler always says this, right? Two bad teams, you might as well just take the points. Both teams are terrible.
Yeah. Yeah,
this could easily be 3.5 could be pretty valuable in a game with a total of 34. This
could be like it
was 13-10 on that really low total last week, right, Tyler? The Browns Steelers, the same issue there. Yeah. All right. I agree with you there. Giants are pass. I guess you could take an under. It's so funny. You see those low numbers, but if you would have played the under in that Steelers Browns game, you never would have been worried.
No,
never would have been worried. So under pass, and I like the points there with you. This is one, JC, that I could not talk Tyler into, and it's the Tennessee Titans who are minus 3.5, total 36.5. They're hosting the Carolina Panthers. I said I wanted to back Will Levis at home. They're going against the worst team in the NFL. Can I talk you into the Titans?
Absolutely. So my dad's in town for the weekend. And we were talking about this game because we made the joke of we could go to Nashville for this stellar matchup. But yeah, this is going to be so crappy. I don't like catching only 3.5. I mean, go ahead, maybe buy the half point, just get a clean -3 here. That's probably not going to go down if you wait till Sunday.
I mean, it was 4 earlier, so Panthers are taking money, but it's probably off the 2 bad teams deal, right?
Right. And the Titans have, like, they're bad, but they're not terrible, right? Like, they don't belong in this class with the Giants, the Panthers, the Commanders, the Patriots. I can't believe at home they're this short of a favorite. I think it's a stellar play.
Tyler, we both like the Titans here. Tell me why, or tell the people why, because you told me already, why you think that this is just a game that we should not be betting. Tyler?
Because it just lines up as the trap of the week.
And why is that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I mean, well, my computer's like freezing up in the moment, so I
could tell. I could tell you're having some problems over there.
Yeah, but I'll try. Just go to the next game. I'm jumping in and out because I can't tell where.
All right, Tyler's having some issues there, and I can understand his point. Just to summarize it, because he did tell us earlier. We talked about it earlier. The same idea with the Giants, right? These are 2 really bad teams, and sometimes you might want to take the point. And as JC mentioned, a 3-point victory is not that implausible here. It's not like the Tennessee Titans are world beaters. I said I wanted to play Will Levis at home again. The Panthers' problems have been on offense, so it wouldn't be surprising if they could give them a little bit of problems. As that defense, I would say, is like 20th in the league. But, I mean, when you look at an offense, it's like 31st in the league. That's where really the problems for this team are. So, Tyler, are you back? Is the computer working?
Yeah, I think so. It's just every time I tried to talk, it was like you would talk again. So I was like, I didn't know if I was coming through, if I was breaking up, if it was even working. So try again. But, yeah, it's Tennessee. They're not good. Carolina's terrible, too. But Tennessee's a pass funnel defense. This is just one of those games that lines up where, Brian Burns gets a strip sack on Will Levis because the offensive lineman can't protect him. Carolina scores a touchdown and keeps the game close, and the game-winning field goal is kicked, and the ending team wins by 3.
I'm looking at the stats. The Panthers do have a surprisingly good defense. I didn't realize they only average 308 yards per game, and that's good enough for top 10, which is shocking. And I got it. This just doesn't seem right. But, I mean, yeah, if you want to pin that against them, it's a case, but and
if you think about it, that defense has constantly been put in bad positions, and it's not like Bryce Young's giving you a lot of time in possession either. So they're putting in a lot of bad spots, and they're still able to come through. All right, so we're fine staying away from that. Now you see why Tyler would not allow me to put that on the sheet, even though I did have a slight edge there. 2 Tennessee on the projections, not enough to make it a slam dunk, though. Tyler, start with this next game, the Saints, Falcons. We don't have a play here. We lean towards the over. What are your thoughts?
I'm just going to go ahead and kick it right to the guy below me, JC, because I have no thoughts on this game. This is another one. We just ball it up, throw it away. You don't bet this shitter. Derek Carr's probably not playing, so Winston's just going to be airing the ball out left and right. Probably leads to a couple interceptions. Well, guess who's on the other side? Desmond Ridder, who sucks. So do you want to bet the guy who can't throw the ball and sucks, or do you want to bet the guy who's going to turn over the ball 4 times and maybe throw 4 touchdowns? So I'd rather probably just light my money on fire than bet this Saints-Falcons matchup. What do you think, JC?
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I mean, I feel like this is one of those games that it's always gross. I mean, the Saints are 8-2 in their last 10 against the Falcons, but they're only 6-4 at the spread. As you said, these are 2 bad teams. It's
maybe if it was Derek Carr, you could entice me that the Saints would just play it safe a little bit and not turn the ball over. But now with the Winston factor in there, it's like, oh, great. Like, the game's close. One of these interceptions could decide it. I'm not putting my money anywhere near these guys.
If you have to bet it, I say over because the
Oh.
turnover should help scoring.
I'm seeing Carr props.
Are they listing him in now? Because I seen a report that he passed concussion protocol, but they was likely to sit.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's one thing that it's just wild. Probable. He's probable Sunday, and it was even more pointing towards that is the fact that there are props on him, and you never see props available for a guy that's like questionable. And that's a real shame because I was thinking like 2+ interceptions for Winston would be some solid. Man, I don't know. That kind of affects my look on this game.
With Carr out there, I like the Saints. But Tyler, is this one of those ones where one team always wins?
The Saints. The Saints win, but they don't cover.
The New Orleans won its last 5 games on the road against Atlanta. New Orleans is 6-1 in its last 7 against Atlanta.
8-2
But these
in
are
their
all
last
straight
10.
up.
6-4 at the spread, though.
Yeah, it's saying he was removed from the injury report as of 5 hours ago and is slated to start on Sunday now.
Okay. I like the Saints now.
I still don't want to bet them, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to bet it either, but I'm just
fine.
saying, do not bet the Falcons. Either bet the Saints or don't bet this game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. If it's still sitting at 1.5, that's a really tempting bet for me.
I mean, just play the money line at -130.
I got -120.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't hate that. Man, I'm taking a complete turn on this game.
Yeah, I mean, I know we want to slander Derek Carr, but I mean, he's miles above Desmond Ridder. I mean, Ritter's a backup. Carr's a guy that's, going to be okay, but it's never going to lead you to playoff wins. But there's a difference between that and like shouldn't even be starting. So, JC, I think we might have to jump in here and leave Tyler alone and take the Saints.
I'm on it.
I got -128.
I got -125 on ESPN.
I only have -1 though, so I could just lay the 1, and then if I push, whatever, right?
Does this game? I don't know. Yeah, you're not gonna get a tie here. Like sometimes there's some games you look at and you're like, I don't know why I can see this game as a tie. This is not one of those games though.
Yeah. All right. What do you want to do? You want to do it, JC?
I'm locking it in right now.
We'll do it right now. All right, let's keep it moving to the afternoon. Kind of cool here, Tyler. 5 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon for us here. Well, everything's in the afternoon for you guys, but you understand my point, right? It's more even. I like it. I hate when I was up there last Sunday, it was like 8 and then 3.
Yeah,
I felt like I couldn't.
The 4 o'clock slate starts, and it's like now there's a bunch of dead air.
Yeah. And there's one really great game in the slate, and we'll get to that really soon. But we're going to start with the Los Angeles Rams, and they are in Arizona taking on the Cardinals. Total's 44.5. Tyler, we talked about this game when we were doing the projections, and I said I don't really feel accurate here on the Cardinals projections because of the uncertainty, variance of Kyler Murray. But, we talk about these teams that do really well here. Rams are 5-0 ATS in their last 5 in Arizona, and they're 5-1 ATS. But Arizona's 5-1 ATS in their last 6 home games. The Rams are passed, but I'm totally fine passing. I don't think you'll be able to talk me into this one.
I'm on the other side.
Tell me why.
I mean, why is it Rams are passed when they could barely beat a Seattle team that looks like
looks pretty good, dude?
Seattle looks pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. You both I don't know why you guys got the Rams both last week and this week. I mean the Seahawks.
Yeah, I was about to say they look like a shell of what they were like 4 weeks ago. They do not look good anymore to me. They're going to get into the playoffs just because there's NFC teams that can't make a push. But the Rams go toe-to-toe with them. Cooper Kupp's not 100% dealing with a high ankle sprain and going to try and play in this game. So he ain't going to last long in this game, in my opinion. Kyler looked pretty good in his games back. I mean, they were in that Houston game. If they didn't go for it on 4th down repeatedly over and over and over again and not get it, I think they win this game outright. I'm on Arizona. I think that they win this game. I'm not scared.
Cool. I'll root for you because I don't feel convicted enough to bet the Rams.
Yeah, and I also think that all the trends are going to tell you that the Rams have always beat up on the Cardinals. Well, that was also Sean McVay beating up on Cliff Kingsbury. This is a whole new regime.
That's a great point. See, Tyler's killing today, JC. You made some good arguments. I'm completely off this Rams pick now.
I hate this game. It's gross. I mean, the Rams and the Texans have similar defensive numbers, and I just think it's embarrassing that the Cardinals couldn't put up more than 16 on the Texans, and so I don't think the Rams are that good.
But that's looking at the box score. When you go back and watch the game, you see that they
moved the ball with ease.
They were down there every time, and they just kept going for it on fourth down.
They would have won the game if they would have just kicked on fourth down.
Yeah, they could have kicked like 4 field goals.
Yeah,
that's a much better breakdown. But my point still stands. You're making crappy decisions. It's leading to you only putting up 16 on the Texans. The Rams, I mean, they got a little bit worse defense, but I mean, unless they get smart, unless they make better decisions this week, I don't know. I don't know if they get there. And I don't think that highly of the Rams either. So this is another just kind of gross game. Maybe take a stab at the under, but overall, I don't like it. I don't want any action.
We'll root for the Cardinals because we want Tyler to win his bet. The Cleveland Browns are plus 1.5. I think this game is fascinating, Tyler. Denver Broncos hosting this game. Total's 36. Broncos quietly getting some wins, but were they that impressive against Minnesota? That game could have gone either way. Give them credit for pulling out that win. This Browns team, arguably the best defense in the NFL, but it's a strong argument. And I think that, oh boy, I could just see Russ and this offense really looking to be in trouble there against the Broncos team. So I haven't got involved in this. I think my numbers like the Broncos, but I wonder, nope, they did not. My numbers like the Browns here. What are your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, complete stay away from me. I think this is the tale of one of two ways this game goes. Either the Broncos offense has a little bit of juice and they're able to move the ball up and down the field, kick some field goals, stretch out a win in a low-scoring game, or B, Russ and those guys look like how they did in the first couple of weeks. This Browns defense is just all over them, and they win like a 10-3 game. I don't want anything to do with this game. I don't want to bet an under just because it's like there's the pathway where Denver puts up points and Cleveland also can put up points. Outside of the Tennessee game, which I think is a trap, this is the second one, which I think a lot of people are going to buy in on a side and be unhappy at the end of the game.
JC, what do you think of this one?
I love the Broncos here. I mean, I don't know how you see this Cleveland team, especially without Deshaun Watson, and think they stand a chance in Denver. I mean, sure, the Broncos could fall apart, but I mean, you risk that with any bet you place. The Broncos are playing great football right now. They're hot. And yeah, I think, Cleveland's defense is going to make it a little bit difficult, but I don't see any way Cleveland outscores Denver. And again, seeing another short spread here, I think this is an awesome spot. Definitely one of my favorite plays on the board. Do we know who's under center for the Browns?
PJ Walker.
It's Walker this week.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. DTR. Excuse me.
It's DTR. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. I mean, like PJ Walker, I think is an extreme wild card, so that might make you think twice. But yeah, DTR under center. I think it's a smash.
I'm scared of this one. I mean, they only put up 21 against a Minnesota defense that's below average, and now they're going against a team that they've made everybody look bad. I'm not betting against you, JC, but I'm telling you what, I am concerned that this could be a complete Broncos meltdown.
See, I mean, like, and I know you look at the stats. Stats are kind of hard to look at. I mean, Broncos give up 400 yards a game. I think but obviously those numbers are a little bit skewed by the poor start.
The Miami game.
Yeah. Miami game certainly didn't help, but still, I mean, if you just look at the past 4 or 5, even 5 games, right? You go back to their loss to Kansas City. They played a great game. All the evidence points to Denver.
All right. Well, I'll be rooting for you. I don't think I can join you there. Let's talk about the coach from Compton, 3-0 against the spread. They're catching 9. I'm on the Raiders. Tyler, you think I'm stupid? Tell me why.
I'm not going to say that I wouldn't take the points at 9 with how the Chiefs have been playing. But on FanDuel, it's sitting at 8.5. After a loss, it was the perfect spot to take them -2.5, put them in a teaser, get them down under a field goal. The Raiders story's been nice. The Chiefs have beat up on them repeatedly year after year. Now they're frustrated after a loss. I think they roll in here. They put up a bunch of points. Could the Raiders close it or cover that back door at 9? Of course. But I'm going to take it at 2.5 in a teaser. I had them already paired with San Fran from last night. I think that was a solid teaser. I don't hate their team total at 26.5 either. I think they put up a lot of points here.
All right, and I have them projected at 27.8. JC, KC's won their last 5 games against the Raiders. Can Antonio Pierce turn around that terrible trend?
Yeah, I see another win at this spread. I could see that. I'm not gonna put the money down on that. Because yes, Kansas City has beaten the Raiders 9 of their last 10, but they're only 6-4 at the spread. We know this Kansas City team's never been stellar at covering large spread. They're just not that kind of team. They just go in, they get their win, and that's how they take care of business. I certainly don't see a wild upset. If you take the money line and like a Kelsey touchdown, even money. I think that's a much better way to attack this than laying, 8.5, 9.5, depending on what you're looking at.
All right, I say you take the points. I think the Raiders can keep this one close at home. Might actually have a home field. I wonder now, the Chiefs are used to traveling there. Maybe Thanksgiving weekend we get less Chiefs fans up in there.
Yeah.
Also, a little bit of excitement for the Raiders.
You made a lot of crazy Raiders bets this year. I think that's a perfectly reasonable one.
Yeah, I think it's decent too. But let's talk about the game of the afternoon. Tyler, your favorite quarterback, your favorite Mensa, right? He's like Josh Dobbs in his ability to read the field. Rocket scientist Josh Allen travels to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. The total's gone under in 6 of Buffalo's last 7 games. Philadelphia is 9-1 straight up in their last 10 games. I already know where you're at. I've heard a lot of smart people, including my buddy Whale on the Bills. But we like the Eagles, Tyler, and I completely agree with you. Let the people know why.
Josh Allen's got the IQ of a potato. If he was designing rockets, like you said, nobody would ever made it to the moon. We would have lost every war because none of that stuff would have ever hit its target. So he's not what Josh Dobbs is. He's going to throw a couple picks in this game. Everyone's going to tell you that Philadelphia's pass defense isn't what it was last year. Well, the Bills' defense is Swiss cheese. Every team they've played for the last 4 weeks has shredded their defense, except for this Jets team they played last week. That was Zach Wilson. He couldn't shred no defense. If he went in Madden, went into practice mode and played offense only, he still couldn't generate yards. So that's that for Zach Wilson. Philadelphia is going to name their score here. They're at home, which is a tough place to play. Josh Allen already has jitters when it comes to playing games. Now he's going to go into a place like Philly where it's going to be loud. He makes a couple mistakes. You know he's going to hear it. It's just not a good spot for Buffalo, I don't think. And I think that's the breakdown everyone's looking at is Buffalo's going to be able to throw the ball in this defense, but nobody's accounting for the fact that there's playmakers in that secondary that are going to create turnovers and give Philly easy chances. Buffalo's not stopping Philly's run either. They're going to win the trench battle. Philly I would almost say Philly lost the trench battle last week. Would you say, spread? Against the Chiefs? The way that they got the Hurts?
Yeah. And I think Philly was lucky to escape that game with the win.
I think they were too, and I thought that was one of the best bets on the board was Philly.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time they've lost a trench battle since this offensive line has been built. They ain't losing it 2 weeks in a row. They're going to pound this team, I think. Philly's going to make a statement right here.
JC, we both like the Eagles here. The Bills are good, but everything that Tyler says about the interception-prone nature of Josh Allen is true. Of course, they do have the new OC. They looked pretty good against the Jets here. I don't want to go against the Eagles. I agree with Tyler. I think the game's won at the line of scrimmage, and I think Philly has the edge on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, couldn't agree more with you guys. I mean, I feel like for weeks, for the past 5-6 weeks, everyone's kind of just waiting for – they're just bent on the Bills because of what they were, what we saw at the beginning of the season, what we saw last season. And I understand, they look great against the Jets, but number one, that was the Jets. But number two, this is a whole another level of team they're playing with the Eagles. Is it possible? Sure. I mean, I can understand why anyone's on Buffalo, but again, I feel like it's just based on the expectation that they're going to turn things around, even though we haven't seen anything to suggest that they actually
They look
are.
pretty good against this Jets defense that you constantly discount, and I don't know
this
why.
would be the only thing I'd be worried about. Would be what our guy I want that cat said.
No,
Would be the
who
look
cares
ahead
about
to the
that?
Cowboys.
I don't believe in
No,
such
this
a thing.
is a big game.
I agree too, but I mean, you just look back on their schedule, and they played the Washington the week before they played the Cowboys earlier this year. It's the Jets. They played the Jets before they played the Cowboys this year.
Right.
The Eagles?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. No, the Jets were before Miami.
Okay, so was it Washington before the Cowboys game then?
Washington was after Miami and was Washington. Tampa Bay, Washington, Rams, Jets, Miami, then Washington again.
Okay, so and then where they play that they haven't played Dallas once yet. I swear they matched up with Dallas already.
After Washington.
Okay, yeah, so that was the game that Washington almost won in overtime where they looked like they were just going through the motions.
Sure.
That would be the only thing that worries me right here is that they just kind of go, let's get in and out of here with either a win or a slight loss. We'll still be one in the conference. We'll be one in the division, and let's worry about next week.
Yeah, but also, I mean, this isn't Washington, right? Washington sucks. They still know Josh Allen, right? Like, you still got to prepare for that. Like, I don't think this Buffalo team isn't garbage, but they
think that the players in the league still view Buffalo as an elite team.
I agree.
We don't.
Just trying to look at it from both sides. Like,
no,
if this game, like, just how much could it actually mean in the implications of like records and playoff stuff? Not that much.
Well, I mean, like Buffalo's, they got to get on it if they want to make a playoff push. So
exactly.
Yes,
so
it is way more important to Buffalo, sure. But who cares? At the end of the day, Philly's the top 3 team in this league, and Buffalo has been playing like the middle of the pack, and Philly's at home, and they're only favored by 3. I see no valid argument for Buffalo, and anyone who's on Buffalo, as I said, it's just the expectation that they're going to turn it around with no data or evidence to back that up.
I'll make the solid argument for Buffalo. Quietly,
Please.
even though those interceptions are there, the offense is efficient in their EPA. They are moving the ball down the field. And the thing is, we just have this expectation for them to be an elite team. They're still pretty good, and they're catching 3. Tyler would hate this. I'd say they arguably have the better quarterback. And let me preface that with, we talked about last week, Tyler, Jalen Hurts doesn't look 100%. Now, I'm saying all this just to make the argument for Buffalo, but I agree with you. We're on Philly. Anything else on this game, Tyler?
I think that's pretty much it for me.
The only other thing I would say is I mean, say what you want about the Bills' offense, but since Miami, they've only put up more than 24 points twice, and it was on the Jets.
But the Jets are good. You need to stop discounting that Jets defense.
Also, divisional team, though. Like, that also adds another layer to it, regardless of whatever you want to say. I'm just saying they haven't – this just isn't – yeah, this isn't a Bills team that can compete with a team like Philly.
All right. Well, we all agree, but for different reasons. Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens, who are taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. Baltimore is 5-1 in their last 6 games. The total has gone under in 7 of the Chargers' last 8 games, and they've gone under in 4 of the last 6 against the Ravens. Tyler, I like the Ravens here. Is there any reason why we should play the Chargers?
No, I mean, I don't see any real reason to play the Chargers. I lean towards the Ravens. I haven't been able to pull the trigger, though. My worry is this is like one of those spots where the Ravens just kind of let a team hang around too long. Justin Herbert puts together a drive. They win the game. It's just weird with Baltimore when they get to these spots where it's like, oh, now they're number 1 in the AFC. Now they really don't have anything to worry about. Their division's falling apart around them. Like, they're pretty much locking everything up. And then they dud and throw a wrench in everything, bring the standings back closer. I probably just end up staying away from this one in the end, but I lean Baltimore wins the game.
JC, I'm going to play the first half because Tyler's right. Baltimore does have a problem with throwing games away in the second half. I like the Ravens first half here. Your thoughts?
I think that's a great call because I completely agree with everything Tyler said. This feels like it's to be a smash spot for Baltimore, but absolutely feels like the kind of place where it just something doesn't quite go as planned. This Chargers team is good. They just haven't been playing well. So I'm going to have to stay off it as well.
All right, Tyler, we got That's it, because we had all those boring games yesterday. Give me your thoughts for your best bet for today.
Yeah. It's going to be a weird slate with just less games. You get the 5 at 1 o'clock and the 4 at 4 o'clock. But I think we found some spots. And my best bet for today, spread probably thought it was going to be one bird. It's going to be a different one because I'm locking in on the red ones. Give me the Arizona Cardinals plus 2.5.
Wow. All right. JC, what's your best bet for the day?
Man, I should mean for the weekend, not the day, just to clarify.
Thank you. I appreciate the clarification.
I'm just making sure. I mean, if you wanted a bet for the Dolphins game, I'll give you that, but that's not going to be my best bet of the week. I'm just making sure.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad we got that cleared up.
So that was a question. That wasn't a statement.
Yeah, I want to know what your best bet is. JC, would you please tell me what your favorite bet for the NFL Week 12 of the games remaining is, please?
Yeah, for sure. I can do that. So a lot of great spots, a lot of options, but just since I seem to be the only one standing on the table for this one, I'm going to go with Denver minus 1.5.
All right. Boy, you guys left me plenty here.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to just be a jerk and take the Steelers, but no, I'm going to give out a play on our sheet. I'll give out the Houston Texans plus 1.5. I just think they've been playing excellently, and we're going to ride the strength of their ability to defeat the Jaguars constantly. They went into Jacksonville and smacked them around earlier this year. I think that's going to continue in this game. CJ Stroud, right? Don't look now, but hey, maybe the same level of quarterback there as Trevor Lawrence with that home field. The way that D'Amico Ryans prepares this team, I think it could be rough sledding for the Jaguars. I'm surprised that they're favored on the road against this up-and-coming Houston Texans team. So there you have it for me. JC, get us out of here.
Yeah, I mean, with the Miami Dolphins kicking off here in about 10 minutes, and a lot of words have been thrown out to describe this Miami team. Only thing I got to say to that are some wise words, and those are, don't ever apologize for winning.